Good evening from Prague. Thank you very much all for joining. Hopefully, you will be commenting and interacting as always, because today's topic will be very I would say many people will be interested in that because I'm personally part of many groups on Facebook, starting with the expats in CZ help and support group to Indians in Prague and Filipinos in Prague and like expats in the Czech Republic and places like that, groups like this. And questions about the bridging visas are one of the most common there. So I wanted to touch this topic as well, just to make sure that everyone understands what the bridging visa is, how to use it, and what it entitles you to do. So guys, feel free to say hi whenever you join. Good evening, Rico. Hi, nice to see you. Chiku, hello. Thank you all for joining. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask during the live stream, and I will either reply right away, or if I'm just somewhere in the middle of my thoughts. Leju Begonia, hi, nice to see you. Safa, hi, Safa, thank you for coming back as well. So either I will I will reply directly in the live stream, or I will wait till the end and then we'll reply all the questions at the end. Today's live stream, I'll do it a bit differently. Emmanuel, hi, Emmanuel, thank you for joining. So I'll ask questions about the bridging visa and I'll be answering them. Okay, so hopefully it will be a bit more interesting and interactive. So let's jump right into it and start with the first question. So what is it, or what is a bridge visa? Basically, a bridge visa is a visa which should bridge the period in between two of your visas. So in between when one visa expired and until you get the new one. So let's say if you have a long-term visa, like a student or a business or family reunification, and it's expiring and you're applying for your long-term residence permit. So for the period between when your old visa expired and when you get the new residence card, then you can get the bridging visa to kind of bridge this period. Now, who can get a bridge visa? Obviously, since the bridge visa is bridging period in between two visas or two residence permits, only people who already have a valid visa or valid residence permit in the Czech Republic can get the bridging visa. This is a common mistake or common misconception that if you're applying for your first bridging visa, for example, as an American teacher, and you apply for your visa in Berlin or Vienna or somewhere, that you can get a bridging visa to overstay your 90 days. But it's not true, because it's not possible, because you don't have a visa at the moment. You're here on a visa-free stay as a tourist. So there is nothing to bridge. You cannot bridge from nothing to visa. You need to bridge from a visa to another visa, or from a visa to a residence permit, or from residence permit to a residence permit. But if you don't have any visa or residence permit at the moment, there is nothing to bridge. So you cannot bridge. You cannot get a bridging visa. Hi, Royal TV. Cyan, hi. Nice to see you. Nice to see you join in. Hi, all guys on Facebook as well. Nicole. No, Nicole is not going to watch today, too sleepy. Okay, Model. Thank you for joining. Anyway, Gio, nice to see you. Basiru Issa, thank you very much for joining. Hariko, hi. Okay, so another question. What does the bridging visa look like? So bridging visa is a standard type of visa, which means it's a sticker in your passport. It's a D type of visa. It's a long-term visa. Even though the bridging visa can be given for as short as like a week or 60 days in case of getting the employee card, for example, to 6 months in case of the partnership visa, for example, it's always a D type of visa, which means that you can travel back and forth to Schengen space. It's a long-term visa. So whatever you can do with a long-term visa, you can do with a bridging visa as well, because it's a form of a long-term visa. So it's a sticker in your passport. Hi, Mohammed. Nice to see you join in. Basira, I sent you several messages, no response. Sorry for that. I receive like tens or sometimes hundreds of messages every day. So I unfortunately don't have the capacity to reply all. I do my best, and when I have time on weekends or something, I try to catch up and reply to everyone. but unfortunately, it's not often possible. So sorry for that. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Otherwise, you can get in touch via email or some other form directly with Move to Prague, for example. Now, Chiku, I can see your question there. I'll get to it in a second. Safa, thank you for the question as well. So I will answer those when I finish the official part about the bridging visa. Okay, stay with me. So another question about the bridging visa. What can you do with the bridging visa? As explained, bridging visa is a type of a long-term visa. So generally, you can do the same things with a bridging visa as you would do with a standard other type of long-term visa. So you can definitely travel. That's actually a common question. If you can travel with the bridging visa, you can. Not only within the Schengen area, because you technically don't need really a visa there because there are no border checks or anything, but you can also use the bridging visa to travel from and back to Schengen area. Of course, just keep in mind that you need to travel. You can only travel if the visa is valid. So if you leave, for example, to India for 2 months and then you want to come back and the bridging visa is already expired, that would be a problem. But if you travel within the validity of the bridging visa, no problem with that. With the bridging visa, you can also continue doing the purpose of your stay. So if your purpose of stay is employment, you have the employee card and you get a bridging visa, that means that you can keep working. If you run business, if you freelance, when you get a bridging visa, you can keep freelancing. You can extend your trade license based on the bridging visa and you can keep working. If you study and you get a bridging visa, you can continue studying. So it's kind of, the bridging visa kind of extends your previous type of visa. So if you had a student visa and you now got the bridging visa, it kind of is considered as if you still have the student visa. So you can like continue with the purpose of your stay. What else? Travel, and yeah, obviously the bridging visa allows you to stay legally in the Czech Republic. So if your residence permit, for example, is expiring, you in time apply for extension of the residence permit, then you can get a bridging visa, and then the bridging visa is a proof that you're legally staying in the country. So that's one of the things you can do with the bridging visa. You can stay here legally, you can travel within Schengen and from and back to Schengen, and you can also continue with the purpose of your stay. Okay, another question. Does it cost anything? Does the bridging visa cost anything? Generally, no. And how to get it, I'll get to it in the next question. So does the bridging visa cost anything? Officially, no. So you can go to the Ministry of the Interior and just request the bridging visa, either when you're submitting your application for whatever, or you can go there separately and request the bridging visa later on. In neither cases, you should pay anything for that. Of course, if you don't speak Czech and you need some assistance there, or if you don't know what to expect, if you, for example, have never been through the bridging visa process, or you've never applied for the extension of your visa or something like that, then if you use a service, for example, like our services, then it's a paid service. So you will need to pay for that. But for the bridging visa itself, at the Ministry of the Interior, there is no administrative fee. Okay, and then the last question about the bridging visa, which I prepared, and if you have some more, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, then I will answer the last question about the bridging visa, and then I will go to your standard questions, which you send on YouTube and maybe some on Facebook as well. Okay, so the last question, how to get a bridging visa? So the easiest way to get a bridging visa is directly when you're submitting the application, which entitles you to get the bridging visa. So let's say if your current business visa is expiring and you're applying for a residence permit with the business purpose of stay, then at the moment when you're submitting the application, you can also request a bridging visa. That obviously has some rules. You can do it only within the last month of the validity of your current visa, but it's the easiest way because you're already there, you're submitting the application, so it's just about asking the ministry, hey, give me the bridging visa as well. So that's the simplest way. Another way is requesting the bridging visa anytime later in the process. So let's say you submitted your application in time, but you didn't want to travel, you didn't need to extend your trade license or anything, so you didn't ask for the bridging visa. But now, 2 months later, you're still in process, your previous visa expired, and you want to travel, for example. So at that point, you can also go to the Ministry of the Interior separately and request the bridging visa like separately. To book an appointment, so you don't have to wait there at the ministry for a long time. And it's also good to back up the requirement for the bridging visa somehow. Because, for example, during COVID, the ministry was not really issuing the bridging visas unless you really needed to travel somewhere. Okay, so you had to, if you wanted to get the bridging visa during COVID, you had to show that you already had some flight tickets to some destinations and that you really needed to get the bridging visa. Otherwise, they would not issue it. But now it's different. Now it's back to the standard operation that you can get the bridging visa anytime. So you just go to the ministry, ideally book an appointment in advance. If not possible, then just walk in and get the bridging visa this way. All right, so that was the official part. And let's now go to your questions. Let's see if there is something on Facebook. I don't think so. People are just saying hi, so thank you for that, guys. Thank you for interacting. And let's go now to YouTube, where there were some questions, or actually many questions. So let's start with Chico. I have my confirmation of studies with me and the semester and doing online now due to the PCC delay. So do I need a new confirmation of study, or can I apply with the same confirmation certificate? Well, the thing is, if your school year has already started and you have not even applied for the visa, the question is if to even apply. Because if you apply, let's say your school started in September, and you like now it's December and you haven't even applied for the visa yet. So if you apply now, it will take another 2-3 months to approve it. So you would be basically getting the visa in March for a school year, which started like half a year ago. And then the ministry could easily deny it, because there is no point if you've already missed half of the year, why they should give you a visa. So the question is if to even submit the application for this school year or not. But if you still want to try it, then yeah, get a fresh confirmation of studies, maybe even get a confirmation that you've been studying online, but that they really need you in person, and try to do it this way. But honestly, there is always the risk that if your school year already started and you haven't even applied for the visa yet, that it might be denied later on because of this fact that you've already missed like a significant part of the school year. Okay, Safa Bukatfa, I'd like to ask you, please, Jan, concerning my long-term visa application for the purpose of family reunification. Actually, when I started, let me see if we have the rest of the question there. When I came across your videos, I knew the importance of proof of accommodation. When I submitted for long-term visa, my husband and I did not notice that we should add the power of attorney to our Safa, I'm missing kind of like, I mean, do you think that's why the process is taking too long? I honestly don't get what you're asking, because I think I see every second message. So if you can just like a short explanation of your situation, please do that, and I will get back to the question. Okay. So Royal TV, self-employed visa possible to get permanent residence later. Okay, yeah, that's possible. If you get the self-employment visa, the business visa, you can get a permanent residency later. But in general, you can only apply for the permanent residency after 5 years of legally residing in the Czech Republic. So if you start with a self-employment visa, you will get it for 1 year. Then you need to apply for the residence permit for 2 years. Then you need to extend the residence permit for another 2 years. Then you need to extend the residence permit for another 2 years. And within those 2 years, when you already are after the 5 years mark, then you can apply for the permanent residency. So it's possible, but you will anyway need to wait for 5 years to apply. So yeah, standard rules, no changes there. Another question from Royal TV, self-employed must to have a physical address or not? Well, depends what address you mean. There are two addresses you need to prove when you're submitting your visa application. First is a proof of accommodation, so address where you will be living, and that should not be a fake or a virtual address, the fancy virtual word. Because if the ministry finds out that you are using a virtual address, it is an address where you will not be living once you get the visa. That's a valid reason to deny your visa, because it's basically a fake document. So for the place of residence, for the proof of accommodation, I would definitely recommend not using a virtual address, but like a physical address where you will be living, of the apartment where you will be living. For the proof of business address, for your trade license, for example, that can technically be a virtual place, because for the business address, the virtual doesn't really matter. It's legal, and many companies do it, many freelancers do it, many companies get the virtual proof of business address, so that's completely fine. But the virtual proof of accommodation is not really fine. If you were establishing an SRO, the limited liability company, then the virtual address for your own application is fine. But if you wanted to hire some employees, then you would need to have a real address, real offices, not just a virtual place to run the business from. But if you're just self-employed, then the virtual business address is completely okay. Virtual proof of accommodation is not okay. Subash Metodios, is it true in a month, second week of Wednesday, application will take in Czech Republic embassy for long-term work visa? If they take, how long will take to receive visa and passport? Okay, yes, this is a question about the Czech embassy in India, which is very, very funny. Not funny, it's very strange, I would say. I did another video about that, so please subscribe to my channel, scroll down through the videos, and find a video about that. I did a video about the Czech embassy in India and Czech embassy in Ukraine, because those are very, very special embassies with very special rules. So yes, that's true that in India, at the Czech embassy in New Delhi, they only assign appointments every second Wednesday in a month. So let's say the second Wednesday of April, they will be scheduling appointments for May. So that's true, but it only applies to some visa applications. And during each of the weeks, there is only like a limited amount of appointments you can get. So some people try and never get an appointment, because there is just, first you may make some mistakes, or second, there are so many people applying for the appointment and only limited amount of appointments that it's difficult to get. When we apply for appointments for our clients in India, 1 month, for example, we get 2-3 appointments, no problem. Another month we don't get any. And then again, the next month we get some appointments for our clients, the next month we don't. So it depends. There are some things you can do to increase your chances, but generally, yeah, it's how it works in India. Chico, I've asked a question because the documents aren't valid after 3 months and my semester started in February, so it's gonna be fine. Yeah, generally all the documents you submit to the ministry or for your visa application can be up to 180 days old, but some of them are better to have like fresher. So for example, the proof of funds, the money in your bank account, we don't recommend submitting anything older than 2 months for sure. Ideally, anything older than like 2 weeks or a month in the best case. Yeah, so this, if it's not older than 3 months, the confirmation of studies, that should be fine. But if you are getting some new documents anyway, like the proof of accommodation, for example, or some other documents, the PCC anyway cannot be older than 6 months either. So it might be a good idea to get the new proof of studies as well. Safa, I mean, do you think that's why the process? Okay, Safa, the flat my husband is renting was missing the power of attorney between the renting agency and the owner, and I recently knew that I should add the document. Can this affect the visa process, please? Yeah, of course. Yeah, exactly. If you're missing some documents when you're applying, then obviously that can delay the process, because the ministry cannot approve the application without that document. So they need to request it from you. And during the time when they are waiting for the document, the official timeline is not counting, it's on pause. So let's say if they have 60 days to approve a visa application, but then they send you a letter requesting some documents and it takes you 60 days to get the document, it doesn't mean that the application will be approved right after that. It's just like it was paused for the 60 days when you were collecting the document, and then they will renew, like restart the process, and then they will approve it at some point. So yes, if you were supposed to send some documents and you didn't do it, or you do it late, or they requested it, that definitely delays the process. And be careful. I actually did another video about that like 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. If the ministry is requesting some documents from you, you need to be very careful. It was maybe my previous video. It was very recently, maybe even earlier this week. So check my channel, subscribe, go to the latest videos and find it, because I did a video especially about this, when the ministry is requesting some extra documents from you. So what you should be very careful about. Sorry, my messages were separate and unclear. Check YouTube allows only limited comments. Thank you for your time. My pleasure. Hopefully I explained. Then you summed it up everything perfectly, so it's good. Okay. Subhash Methodius, sir, you didn't answer my second question. Okay, so let's see. For longer visas, how long it will take to receive visa and passport? Okay. Well, it depends. I did another video about this, like the approval times, official approval times of different visa applications, because different visa types have different approval times. So for example, most of the visas generally should be approved within 60 to 90 days, but there are some visas which can take 90 to 120 days, and there are some types of residence permit, for example, the family reunification residence permit, which can take up to 270 days to get approved. So it very much depends on what type of visa you applied for. So go to one of my previous videos and check it there, because I did a video especially about this topic. Chico, thanks. Thank you for your information. My pleasure. Happy to help. Subhash, thank you, sir. Again, my pleasure. Thank you for the questions. Safa, but they didn't request it, and we send it to them anyway. Okay, that's good. That's better than to wait for their letter, because if you applied for a visa and they didn't have all the documents, you didn't submit all the documents needed, they could even deny the visa and they don't have to let you know about it. If you applied for a residence permit, and if they are missing some documents, or if there are mistakes in your documents, they have to send you a letter giving you time to like correct the mistakes. But if you applied only for a long-term visa, they could actually deny it, just saying, hey, you were missing this, we don't care, denied, try again. So if you send them some documents voluntarily, let's say that they didn't request it, but you did it anyway, that's fine. It can also delay the process, but it will at least not lead to, or it should not lead to denial. So that might be good. Just keep waiting, and yeah, that's the only thing you can do. Okay, I will go back to Royal TV and to Antoinette MF Attack, to your questions. There was just a question on Facebook from Emmanuel Quintin Coffee. What is the standard time one can stay abroad on a family reunification residence permit? And what happens should you stay longer than this time? Well, generally, there are different rules about this, and it's related to your permanent residency and all that. But generally, you should not stay outside of the Czech Republic more than half of the time your visa was approved for. Because if you got a visa for 1 year and you stay 7 months out of the year outside of the Czech Republic, then the ministry could not extend your residence permit or visa afterwards, saying, hey, why do you need a Czech visa if you spent most of the time outside of the Czech Republic anyway? And they could deny your application and you would be fucked. So I definitely don't recommend staying outside of the Czech Republic for more than half of the time. Of course, it depends where you stay. If you stay in some Schengen countries, there will be no record of that because there are no stamps or nothing. So no one will find out and no one cares. But if you would be staying outside of the Czech Republic, like outside of Schengen space, then they would find out easily, and you could have a problem extending your stay if you spend most of the time outside of the Czech Republic. So I would say generally don't stay outside more than half of the time of the validity of your visa or residence permit. But obviously, the shorter you stay outside, the better, because there are also other rules towards your permanent residency. Like, for example, the total amount of time you can spend outside of the Czech Republic to still qualify for permanent residency is it's 320, I believe. So if you in 5 years you spend more time than 320 days outside of the Czech Republic, you might not be able to get the permanent residency. So it's related to many other things. So just limit the stays outside of the Czech Republic as much as you can. Hopefully this helps. So back to YouTube, Royal TV, what is the documents? Should I bring it for my self-employment and cost of the processing time, please? Well, this is a very, very long question. So let me share. I will share an article with you from our blog. I will send it here to the chat on YouTube. So go to this blog post, because we describe everything there. Hi Joy, thank you for joining. So Royal TV, what is the documents needed? So go to this link. We list all the documents there. What is the processing time? It's there as well. And what is the cost? Cost is there as well, and how much money you need to have in your bank account too. If you're asking about our cost, if you need any help with the trade license and the visa process, then please get in touch directly, and I'll be happy to send you the pricing. We have a nice shiny PDF, so please feel free to get in touch. Safa, I can't thank you enough, but you can. It's good that you're here already, that you're asking questions, that you're interacting, that you hopefully subscribed to my channel and you're following my work. So that's already good enough. And of course, if you need any help in the future, we'll be happy to help as well. Subhash, really, we all appreciate your good heart for guiding us. Guys, it's my pleasure. Thank you very much. I'm happy that I can help. Of course, we run this as a business. So if you need any help, we'll be happy to help you as a part of the business as well. But if I can share some knowledge and give you some advice here, and you can use it, and it will help you get your visa, or help you sort some situation, that's great as well. So I'm happy for you, and it's my pleasure. So let's see if there are some other questions. Antoinette MFA Atach deleted her message. Safa, yes, certainly, I subscribe. Thanks, and have a great weekend, Jan. Thank you very much. We actually have a long weekend now. Tomorrow will be holiday, and on Monday will be holiday as well, Easter. So we'll have 4 days off. We'll be working anyway with Daria. We'll be in the office during the holidays as well, but we'll hopefully take some time to rest too. So guys, enjoy the holidays as well. But anyway, I'll be doing, even though Monday is Easter Monday, happy Easter to you too. So I will be doing a live stream anyway, because I do live streams every Monday and every Thursday. So I will stick to it even now. So if you miss me, then on Monday you'll get me back. So guys, if you have any other questions, now Facebook today is somehow quiet. So people from Facebook, you don't have any questions. People from YouTube, you're amazing. Thank you very much for all the comments and all the questions and everything. Happy Easter to you, Subhash, as well. I don't know if you celebrate it all, but if not, if you celebrate something similar, happy holidays to you as well. If you don't celebrate it at all, happy weekend. And yeah, guys, if you have some more questions, please feel free to ask. I'll be happy to answer them. Otherwise, I'll be finishing the live stream, and I will be sleeping shortly. Antoinette, is there an exception to the rule staying abroad for family reunification residence permit? What do you mean? What do you mean exactly, if there is some exception to the rule staying abroad? Especially, I would say, especially the family reunification purpose. If you're applying for a family reunification, you're saying that you want to move to the Czech Republic because you want to be with someone you love or with your family member. So if you move here to be with your family member and you spend most of the time outside of the Czech Republic, then there's no point in getting you the visa. So again, staying longer. Well, so yeah, especially in this case, because if you come here for work and the work, for example, sends you to other country to work, you're still employed by the Czech company, but you just have in your contract that you can work from somewhere else. That's fine because you're still working for the Czech company. So even though you're working from abroad, it's technically like legal and fine. If you're a student and you kind of you can study online, so you spend some time traveling and you still pass all the exams and everything, it's kind of explainable that, okay, hey, there was COVID, so we could study online, everything, blah blah blah. But if you say that you moved here to live with your beloved family member and then you spend most of the time not living with them, that's not good, and you would hardly explain it to the Ministry of the Interior. So in case of family reunification, I would definitely recommend not staying outside of the Czech Republic too much to avoid any problems. Again, within Schengen area, they will not find out because there are no borders, no stamps, nothing like that. So the ministry is not gonna find out. But if you want to stay abroad outside of the Czech Republic, outside of the Schengen space, I would not recommend doing it for too long. So hopefully that was a good explanation. If not, please feel free to ask some additional questions. Sheikh Rifat Rias Biku. Sorry guys if I'm mispronouncing your names. I just do my best. Hi, can you give me an idea of an approximate time to forward the application to MOI from Embassy in New Delhi? Like how many days normally they take to forward my application to MOI? As you have lots of experience, so I believe you have ideas on this. Yeah, generally I talked about it in some of the previous live streams as well. Sometimes it can take a couple weeks. It's not the days, it's not a matter of days. It depends because the embassy must physically take your file, all the documents you submitted, and physically ship it to the Czech Republic. So even if they did ship it via DHL, it would be at least 3 to 5 days. Now it's maybe even more. So 1 week, let's say, for the delivery. But they obviously don't send it, or I think they don't send it every day. They send it once a week or once in 2 weeks, so there is also delay in this. And then once the documents are delivered to the ministry, it doesn't mean that from the day when it's delivered, they start working on it, because it's delivered to some like a general mail room, let's say. Then they need to mail it to the department. Then the department needs to, like, the manager must give it to some decision maker, and then the decision maker starts working on that based on their workload. So sometimes from New Delhi and from all the countries in that area, even Australia, it can take like 5 to 6 weeks even, or 4 to 6 weeks maybe, to start working on your application. So of course it can be sometimes faster. We've heard of people seeing the applications online after a week or two. So it can be as fast as this, but if it's even like 5-6 weeks, you should not be surprised, unfortunately. Antoinette, what if you decide to come and go periodically? Well, again, it depends. I would say it depends on the total time. If you come and go, if you go for a week and then you spend here 2 weeks, and then you go for a week and you spend here 2 weeks, might be okay, because in total you will spend like 66% or like two-thirds of the time here and only 1/3 away. And that's kind of explainable, that, okay, hey, I need to travel for some reasons and I'm always coming back to live with him or her. So that might be explainable. It might be okay. But if you do it the way that you stay here for a week and then you leave for 2 weeks, and then you spend here a week and then you leave for 2 weeks, then it's the other way around. So might be better if you come and go than if you like leave and spend like a very long time there. That also depends, because if you have some serious reasons, if you have some serious reasons, like, I don't know, your parents are sick and you just need to take care of them and you can prove it, then it would be also different than if you just if you just want to travel the world, so it also depends on the reason. If you have a reason, if you have, I don't know, parents in your country and you need to take care of them because their health got worse suddenly or something like that, that would be understandable and that would be explainable to the ministry. But if you just want to travel around the world and you don't really want to live with your husband or wife, you just want to have a residence permit here, that could be a problem. Okay, any more questions, guys? Because what's the time? What's the time? It's almost midnight and I've been talking for another 35 minutes. So guys, let's say couple last minutes or seconds. Dolor, Karen, thank you very much for joining. So last question. So let's say one last question, because you can hear that my voice is already, my throat is getting sore and my voice is not that good. There are kids back home. Could you see that as explanation? Well, yeah, in a way. If the kids have reasons to stay in the country, then maybe yes. But also, why not to bring the kids here? Apply for the family reunification for them as well and bring them all here. And then you don't need to travel and you don't need to explain anything. Of course, I understand that it's not always that straightforward and not that easy. Kids might be a good reason, good explanation, but then you still have the chance to bring them here. So yeah, obviously I understand what you're asking. Okay, hey, the situation is like this, I need to travel, all that. But generally speaking, like, why should the Czech Republic give you a visa if you don't live here? So it depends if they find out. If they don't care, and generally they don't really care. But if you're extending your stay and you get some decision maker who is really by the book and he wants to make trouble, then it could be a problem. So generally my advice is don't travel that much, spend most of the time in the Czech Republic. And if there is a reason, let's say your kids are in the country of your origin and you need to travel to visit them, just bring them here. That's the safest from the immigration perspective. I understand that it might not be the best solution from the life perspective, but from the immigration perspective, there is no reason to keep your visa active if you spend most of the time outside of the Czech Republic. I would say simple as this. Safa, I have more questions, but I'll ask in your next video. You must be exhausted. I'm not that exhausted, I just cannot talk anymore, and I don't have anything to drink here, so it's just not good. So wait for Monday, ask on Monday. And Tucson, so that will be the last question for today. It will be from Ihusan or Luhusan W. Is it the same procedure in all EU countries? That's a good question. The answer is not that simple, but generally, yes. The rules, the visa rules are very similar in the whole EU, because there is like EU law which governs this. So the general rules are very similar. There are some visas which you can use, which are the same in all the countries. For example, the blue card, that's the same in all the EU countries, but still every country has a chance to modify their visa processes and requirements and everything. So generally the system works in a similar way, but each of the countries can actually modify it as they want. So there are, sorry, I have a dog here, so I just need to watch him from time to time. So, for example, Poland and Slovakia are easier countries to get the residence permit than the Czech Republic. For example, in Spain, you also have a special type of visa where you just buy a property above some limit and you automatically get a residence permit. Czech Republic doesn't offer anything like that. And so there are different like visa types in different countries. So it's easier in some countries to get a visa. It's more difficult in some countries to get a visa. So it slightly differs. Generally, the law is the same and the rules are very similar, but each country can have slightly different rules. Okay, so the last question from Antoinette. In that case, can you return the residence permit? Yes, if you know that you're leaving for a very long time, for example, or you might not be coming back, you can always give the residence permit back to the ministry. but then if you want to come back again, you will need to apply again. So I would try to balance it in a way that you don't lose the visa or the residence permit. But if you're leaving and you know that you'll be gone for a very long time, you can give the residence card back to the ministry and have it canceled, and then you can apply again once you decide to move here permanently. Whew. Okay, guys, thank you very much for joining today and all the times, and see you again on Monday. And happy Easter, happy holidays, happy long weekend, whatever you're celebrating. See you Monday. Bye-bye.